everyone, and welcome back to This Month in Realty. Today, I'm super happy to have back new dad for the second time, Jamie Harnish. Congratulations on the baby. Tell us a little bit about the market in Toronto and how things are going up there.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to change my shirt. I had some spit up on it before before we jumped on. So, market in Toronto we're coming off of what was the busiest couple of months Toronto has probably ever seen. I mean, I've been in real estate for 6 years, so it's not like I'm a vampire and have been here for 200 years and know what all of the real estate markets have been. But even for people who are veterans of 20 to 30 years, felt like that was kind of the nuttiest couple of months that we had. So February, March, and early April was like just totally bonkers, and we're now kind of coming down off of that. So for 3 months consecutively now, we've seen drops in sales, not precipitous or anything like that, but declines in sales. Meanwhile, new listings have either stayed flat or increased or decreased by about 5%. So nothing terribly drastic in changes of new listings. So they stayed relatively consistent. So when you have sales falling and new listings staying relatively consistent, your inventory is rising a little bit. Our sales to new listing ratios and months of inventory, which I often look at as like supply and demand kind of metrics, are still very much in seller's territory. Kind of like what you would typically associate with it being a seller's market. So we still are in a seller's market, but it's just gotten better for buyers than it was 2-3 months ago. So they've had a little bit of relief, so they can take a breath, not have to go and see a place like within a few hours of it being listed. Right. Can wait till Saturday, it'll get to offer night, maybe it even goes past offer night and you actually maybe get a chance to negotiate a little bit, have a condition in your offer, those kinds of things. It's a little bit, like I said, a little bit better for buyers.
Okay. So what's your prediction for the summer market?
So I'll say, first of all, that I don't love making predictions because I don't like being wrong, and oftentimes predictions are incorrect. But when you're right, you get to gloat, right? So I kind of feel like we're still in a state of lockdown in Toronto, but we're getting very close to getting out of that. And even though we're still in a lockdown, real estate is slowing down, and I feel like once kind of the city and the province really just kind of goes back to business as normal, I feel like real estate is really going to be on the back of everybody's minds and not be, terribly active for a lot of people. So I feel like it's going to be a slow summer. Summers are normally slow, especially August. August is one of our slowest months of the year here. I would say it's going to be, if I were to make a prediction, I think it's going to be incredibly slow in August, and I think July is going to be slower than a July normally would be. So that's kind of my take. Whether it bounces back in the fall or not, we'll see. I think it depends a lot on vaccine rollouts and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do feel with the nice weather and everything like that, I feel like summer is going to be quite slow.
Interesting. So what is there to do in Toronto, given the current situation? What's there to do in Toronto in the summer?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we're still in lockdown, but the weather is nice, and we're not being discouraged from going outside or anything like that. So Toronto actually has a lot of parks. We have a decent amount of green space, probably not enough, but I mean, what city of millions of people has enough green space? They also, the city implemented a program last summer, which they're continuing to do this year as well. It's called the Cafe TO program. Basically what they're doing is on major streets where we see a lot of our bars and restaurants and that kind of stuff, oftentimes there's 4 lanes of traffic. They're taking the curbside lanes on each side and blocking them off with pylons and structures and whatnot, and allowing restaurants and bars and stuff like that to set up patios.
Oh, so, that's nice.
Because a lot of these places wouldn't normally have patio space.
Right.
And Canadians, particularly Torontonians, really treasure our patio season because it's not terribly long, right? It's like May to September.
May to
May? It's May to September, and that's about it, right? So, so we love dining outside, drinking outside. And so the Cafe TO program is starting up again. I live very close to 2 kind of major streets, and I can see that they're starting to set up. And some of the business owners that I know at Yonge and Eglington, I know are starting to hire, front of house and back of house people for their patio season, which is very encouraging to see when restaurants and bars are starting to hire again. So I would say that's going to be the big thing for the summer is really exploring Toronto's very diverse restaurant and bar scene, but particularly restaurant, just because we have almost every ethnicity in the world here. So I think something like the most different languages spoken in a city in the world, I think, is Toronto. So we have all the different foods that go with it. So it's going to be a summer of food, I think.
Okay, great. So Jamie, how would somebody contact you?
Yeah, whatever platform they're seeing this on, they can always kind of make a comment or send a DM for sure. My email, I'm very responsive with email, so that would be Harnish, so J and then my last name, at bosleyrealestate.com, BOSLEY. And my cell phone number, I'm happy to give it out, 416-428-8892.
Okay, and I'm going to drop all your links down below here. So will you come back next month?
Of course, if you're willing to have me.
Of course. Okay. Tune in next month to hear more from Jamie and other real estate experts around Canada and the United States. Take care and congrats on the baby.
Thank you, Bob.